Hi everyone and welcome to new episode of Double Purpose Podcast. I'm beyond grateful to be hosting this episode here in London at Great Ormond Street Hospital, or also known as GOSH, one of the world's leading pediatric hospitals. By now, many of you know our story, Pia's story, and the incredible journey we went through during her staying here. It truly felt like a miracle. But when we left, I found myself with so many questions about the person whose work quite literally keeps hearts beating. I saw him as a brilliant surgeon, but it was clear to me that he must also be an extraordinary human being. I was deeply inspired by his calm, his precision, and his purpose. And I knew I wanted to dedicate an episode to him, so people could see not only the world-class surgeon, but also the person behind the scalpel. Today I have the privilege of speaking with a very special guest, Head of Cardiothoracic Surgery at GOSH, Dr. Martin Kostolny. Hi.
Hello.
I want to thank you for taking your time in between your over 250
Yeah,
surgeries.
it's roughly 200. I mean, it's the number, I think, is not that important. Yeah.
It's not important,
the
but
results
still.
are important. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are doing surgeries overseas and in UK, right?
Yes, so mainly here.
Yeah.
And then at Great Ormond Street, and then from time to time I go and operate abroad as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. So, my first question, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you come from, and how did you find out that you wanted to be a cardio surgeon?
So I'm from Slovakia.
Okay.
And I did my medical school there in Slovakia and 1 year in Vienna. And it's, I think it's when people ask me this question, I tell them it's probably a little bit of luck.
Okay.
Because as I was about to graduate, a year before, there wasn't a congenital heart center in Slovakia as such. So it just opened the year before. Mm-hmm. And as a medical student, I was told, oh, you can go and watch operations there. And which I did. And then I think it's just imagine a young person able to see what to me back then was an amazing thing, right? Mm. Using your hands and you can create something, right? Then and change immediately the way the blood flows around the heart. So I was hooked, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of doing something surgical.
So that was not your initial thought, I want to become cardio surgeon?
No, I wanted at some point, I wanted to be a urologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and I thought I thought that would be a good job because it's a little bit of operating, but a little bit of something else as well. But when I saw this, I thought, well, this is it, right? Because you obviously, when you study the sort of, what we say, pathophysiology, the way the blood flows around the heart in those congenitally malformed hearts, you obviously need to think a little bit. The decision process is a big part of what we do. Part of it is operation, but you have to decide what kind of operation at what point, and then.
So the part when you prepare for surgery is
I think equally important.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how you found out you wanted to be.
Yeah, and then at that time there was, or let's say even now, I think there's a slightly different system. When you graduate, you start at a place where you sort of want to become and specialized. Unlike here in the UK, where you sort of go either in the surgery or medicine, and then you do the steps, and then year 6 or 8, you then sort of go into congenital heart surgery. So this was different.
Okay, so different school system.
different sort of graduation or postgraduate sort of specialization system to here. Yeah.
Okay. What was your professional journey like before joining GOSH, and how did you know that GOSH is the right place for you to be here?
Again, we could talk about just this, I think, for another half an hour. So we were in the situation, we had a very young team in Slovakia, and we had at one point amazing team. Everything was new. There was some help from United States. So everything was interesting, everything was developing. At the same time, as a surgeon, you want to do the surgery, right? And there were quite a lot of us who wanted to do the same. So we sort of ended up in a situation where none of us was really doing much. And then there was an opportunity to go like on a scholarship. So as a sort of guest doctor, they said I went to Germany, to the German Heart Center in Munich. And I spent some time there. And then during that time, they had a change in that sort of chief surgeon, and he was looking for new people. So when my sort of scholarship, my sort of visitation was nearing the end, he was saying, well, would you at some point want to come here and work with us in Munich? I was very junior there, and I think they just wanted. Well, I was 30. Yeah. And obviously I thought, okay, this is an amazing opportunity for me. Maybe I can grow. But also, I think I was very naive. I don't think I knew really what to expect. So, and then we kept in touch, and.
So you left there?
So I left. I returned back home to Bratislava, but then continued working up, because at that time, this is some time ago. Slovakia at that time, I think, wasn't even part of the European Union. So getting sort of the registration and all this was really difficult. I think it helped that I spoke good German at that time. That was my second language.
Oh wow!
So, and then I started there and did my sort of specialization degree in Germany. So they call it Facharzt, like and
what does it mean exactly?
That means that you are specialist in cardiac surgery. Okay. Just an exam. You need to fulfill certain criteria. You need to have a certain number of operations, certain type of operations, and then you can apply. And there's like a proper exam, right? Like a oral exam. So I did that, and then one of my colleagues who also wanted to become a congenital or children's heart surgeon said, "Oh, Martin, you should apply for a job for like a senior doctor, a registrar, that's what they call it here, or they now say resident doctor. So not consultant level, but below that." And Great Ormond Street, this particular unit was very well known for every year accepting 3 to 5 new people who would spend a year, learn how things are done here, and then return most of the time back to their units. Very few stayed. So,
but they had possibility to stay.
So again, I think it was more like. Was very, very clear from the beginning that it would be like a fixed term, a year spending in London and sort of experiencing a different system. And at that time there were 3 sort of very well-known surgeons. One of them is still working in our department, Professor Sang. And then the other one was Professor Elliott and Professor Delaval. And those 3 people were like famous. I remember before coming here, I thought, how will I even speak to them? Because I thought like, oh, these are like half gods, right? You only sort of say, oh, yes. And then I spent a year here, and then again, by some luck, one of the surgeons was nearing his retirement, Professor Delaval, and then they were looking for a young surgeon to join them.
Replacement, maybe? Or no?
Well, sort of replacement. I don't think at that time or even now, I would be a sort of replacement for him. He was really one of the
amazing surgeons here. Probably.
He was an amazing surgeon, amazing person. He was very well respected all over the world in our specialty. And then they said, "Oh, what do you think about coming and working with us?" And it happened. Then in 2006, I started here as a consultant surgeon.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think our specialty is tricky, right? Because everyone wants to operate. When you mention that, I do this many operations, so you will not find a congenital heart surgeon who will say, or not many of those who will say, "Oh, I'm fine, just reading some books and and then not being in the operating theater." Everyone wants to do that, and then sometimes you have a unit where the number of surgeries is not big, but the number of surgeons is like too many hunters for the prey.
So it's a good opportunity here to.
So it was, yes, and then Grumman Street had at the time, and I think still has, a sort of very good reputation internationally, right? And in big part to those people I mentioned. I mean, they really were sort of pioneers in our field.
Yeah. So from 2015, you're head of cardio. Is that correct?
Yeah. Again, if you say head of cardiac surgery, so it's. I mean. It's like an official title. They either called it head of clinical service or clinical lead. I don't think it's that important because the role is, if you go to Germany, you have the head of the unit is the professor, and what the professor says, everyone has to listen. Professor says, tomorrow you'll be there, and you are there tomorrow. I think here is a more democratic system. So consultants are on the same level. It's very difficult for me to tell one of my colleagues, "Oh, you'll be doing this, you'll be doing that." I think the role of a lead, as I see it, is being sort of responsible for the results a little bit and helping. It's not a directive post, right?
It's like just a title.
It is a title, but you can't do much. You don't.
I know what you're trying to say. Sorry for interrupting you, but I just, from my perspective, like I was observing before meeting you, and all the people was like, everyone is working together, but everyone knows who. I don't know how to say it. Who to contact for some additional information, or if they don't know anything about, I don't know, something. I mean, you have like respected rule, and even though you don't tell them what to do, I got this feeling that still would go to you and to ask you for advice. To, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I would hope, after working here for quite some time, that there is some recognition, perhaps. You accumulate a lot of experience. People know what to expect when they either speak to me or when I do something. They know, because there's now almost 20 years of work behind it, right? So I would hope that there's a little bit of respect after all these years.
It is, because we were talking before surgery, before PS surgery, and one doctor was like, "Yeah, Martin is going to do it. He's the best surgeon here." she will be in the best hands possible. So yeah, definitely, even from nurses, you feel that there's enormous respect towards you.
Yeah. It's I always tell people I don't want to come across like unnaturally humble, right? Obviously, I do value what I do, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of work behind it. It's really tricky. Not many people can do it. At the same time, one of my best friends, he says that the moment you start to believe you're special, that's the downhill slope, because people shouldn't believe they are special. Yeah.
Shouldn't believe they're special.
They are special and something,
because they stagnate or what? Maybe.
You, especially in our profession, congenital heart surgery, you see so many people who think like, oh, everything I do is perfect, and it's not the case. We have our success stories, but we also have things that don't go as well, and we have to own, I think, both.
Wow, well said.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So what does your work mean to you?
A lot. I always try to think that the family is the most important thing to me, right? I mean, my wife and my children do come first.
That's priority.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them, right? Because
without their support.
Without their support, and then without their understanding. At the same time, my job takes so much of my life that it's such a huge part of who I am, and I can't just,
Could you say it's part of your identity?
I'm afraid it is, because there's it's constantly there, right? You have, like when I'm on holiday, let's say, and then I'm away for a week or two, then I'm start thinking, I like this. But then let's say I go home tonight, and inevitably I will open, before I go to bed, I will open the computer and I will start checking how are the patients doing.
Wow.
If there is a problem, and let's say the patient is your patient, you did the operation, you're sort of always on call, if you know what I mean. That's why it's very difficult.
You cannot unplug from...
No, it's very difficult to unplug,
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So when does your work end then? I mean, it actually never, maybe?
Yeah, well, not really. I like to think it ends when I'm, when I'm leaving this building, jump on my bike and cycle home.
You come here on bike?
Yes, every day.
Every day?
Yeah, religiously, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a little folding bike.
Okay.
And I think I enjoy that a lot, because it's like, for me, it's like clearing my head.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And you do something for yourself.
Yeah, I would like to think, racing from one traffic light to another.
Do you remember your first surgery at Gosh?
So I have to disappoint you. I do not. I really don't remember my first. I remember my first surgery, like first cardiac operation.
Would you like to share it?
Yeah, I can. I remember I was incredibly nervous. I remember that very well. And I think my boss at the time, because I was 25, so I was really young.
Yeah.
And I think he just wanted to, I will ask him one day. I think he just wanted to prove that even someone, like that inexperienced can do, he was helping me, right? And it was one of the more simple operations we do, but there's a hole between the collecting chambers of the heart. yeah, but because I was so nervous, because I was so sort of excited at the same time, I do remember it very well.
Yeah, emotions bring it up.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have a preset mindset for work mode that allows you to get in the focus, to be present, to know what to do? Or is it your default mindset that operates everything?
So I don't have any routine or anything where I say, okay, now you have to focus or
now you're at work.
Meditate or anything. Obviously I try to prepare myself. Like I said, you need to prepare yourself. You need to go in your head at least at, okay, so these are the steps of the operation, and what happens if this happens, if I can't do this. You need to sort of have plan B for everything you do. So that I do, but once at least for me, once I start, I just like to just focus completely on what I'm doing, and focus perhaps not just on the operation, but I'll try to focus on what other people around me are doing, because it's a little bit like a team sport. Yeah, you have the surgeon who does the operation, but you have your assistant, you have someone who works with the heart-lung bypass machine, you have the nurse, the helper for the nurse, you have the anesthetist, you have a junior doctor who is an anesthetist, you have your assistant. You, when you check the result of operation, a cardiologist comes in, helps with the echo to confirm the result. So for me, it's really like trying to get all these people to focus with me. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
not always achievable.
Yeah, I can only imagine that. Can you choose the members of the team? No. So. But is it maybe easier for you if you worked with them before?
So of course, the easiest thing is when I have someone who is helping me, ideally someone who can do the same thing I do. So that's like an ideal thing, because you don't have to explain anything, you don't have to say, hold this with this hand and move this in your other hand and move here a little bit.
You don't.
So that comes naturally. So, but it's very rare. Especially in the UK system. So we have 7 or 8 of these resident doctors who are here to learn, and they stay, when they're on call, they stay in the hospital, but they also assigned to a particular consultant, right? There's 5 of us, and then they're assigned to help. So yes, I would love to have someone with me all the time who I know.
That would be ideal.
Not possible. Not possible, because they rotate. They have their rota system, where during a period, I think, of 8 weeks, they are only allowed to be on call so many times, and then they have to be in theatre, and they have to have their rest days, and I think also anesthetists, right? I mean, I think it's like everyone's work. You like to work with people where you don't just come to work like a robot, right? And then you can have a little bit of fun, a little bit of banter, and
you want to enjoy people here.
Yeah, and then again, it's you try to be professional with everyone, but there will be people who either the nurses or the anesthetists who you like to work with. Because,
it clicks better.
Yeah, and I think it's important, because like I said, you have 7 people, and then there needs to be a purpose for all of those. They need to. It's just, I can't do my job if other people are not focused.
If they are not doing theirs properly.
Well, you could say the same about me. They could feel that I'm not doing my job properly. And it's very difficult to criticize anyone, right? Because they might be just doing their best they can. I think it's more about to try to motivate people. Perhaps, it sounds a little bit funny to try to be an example. It's, how to be an example. But try somehow to motivate people so they're really with you.
Amazing. It almost sounds like recipe for success. I mean,
well, if it's done properly,
yeah. Okay, I mean, the results are saying it for itself. How do you define heart as a surgeon? What does the heart mean to you? How do you look at it? Is it like just an organ who pumps blood, or how do you look at it?
So I think I'm not too different from other people, because if I look at it purely from the mechanical point, right? Heart is a muscle that's pumping blood. But I think for all of us, just when people say, why people do this? Why people touch their heart when they say, it's, when they talk about emotions, right? Why do they not do this more often? So yes, it's your whole focus, and then you don't talk to the heart, but at the same time, like you look at that organ, and then you did an operation, and you let the blood again into the heart muscle, and then the heart is starting to work. It's just almost like you're watching it and you thinking, please work properly. So there is a little bit of, I think, emotion as well as sort of that just a cold calculation, this is what the heart should do. Yes, there has to be, but I think, I'm probably not too different from other people. A heart is, has a sort of emotional meaning as well.
So how do you not lose yourself in knowing that it has an emotional power also? Where's this line between science and emotion in your work?
For me personally, I really can say that, when you are more inexperienced, things can get to you, right? Especially if things don't go according to plan. And then just the feeling that, because, everyone who does a job, they're responsible for a human being, and their action can change someone's fate, right? Will probably at some point feel like, well, what's happening now? I mean, I'm sort of, this is not going as expected. This patient may die because of what I did. And I think as you get more experience and you see more things, you can sort of distance yourself from this emotion. That's when you do your job. Obviously,
that's how you do it. That's like
I try to, I try not to be affected by by
all the emotions that can occur during.
Yes, and then obviously I can't shut it out completely, but I can't be thinking that I spoke to these amazing parents. They both seem very nice, They have this little child, and then if you think like this, you work yourself up, you will be crying in front of each operation.
Sooner or later.
And then, so I think you sort of need to put it on hold. I am obviously, if something goes really well and I see the result, or it's better than I thought it would be, and then parents are happy, makes me like,
Happy, proud.
I feel like, I've grown, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's thanks for sharing that. So how do you face those feelings that, I mean, if everything doesn't go as planned? I mean, at the time of surgery, you put it on hold, but do you face them after that? What's the process? How do you process those emotions? I mean, you have to come to the work the next day. And
yes, you have to. Again, I would say that you can, if something goes and then something goes really badly, right? Because
someone
cardiac surgery in children has come a long way, right? We used to talk about mortality, right? About children not surviving an operation. Now, I think now that's extremely rare. But yes, from time to time, you will have a patient that just doesn't pull through, and I think it's all I can say. For me, it's incredibly difficult. I try to think like, what is it that I've done? What could I have done differently? I try to tell myself, and my wife is quite good at that, because inevitably I bring these things home, right? And it's them who have to deal with it as well. But at the end of the day, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
So sometimes for your own sanity, but also for the next patient, is you can't continue to beat yourself up because something didn't go as expected, and sometimes you just need to say you did everything you could, that the whole team did everything they could. It's not to say that you shouldn't learn from your mistakes, but we have a process for that in the hospital. We I think sort of analyze our problems a lot. So
that's good.
It's good. You have to have a thick skin as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it's quite obvious when surgery doesn't go well. It's quite obvious it was the surgeon who did the operation, right?
But it's not always everything in your hands,
I know.
It is, but it's not.
I fully agree, but that's what my wife has been telling me. But
that's good way to overcome those feelings and to realize, even though not every surgery goes as planned, really isn't your fault, or how should I say it?
I mean it's very difficult,
but
right?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, because I want to be everything perfect, right? And then when that is not achieved, I mean it's difficult.
Yeah.
I do have the drive to strive for excellent outcomes, and then it's difficult to come to terms with that. If it's not. Anyway.
Well said.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for surgery? Do you, like you said earlier, you go step by step in your head? Do you visualize the whole process, or how, like on that level, how do you prepare? You go through papers of a patient, you look what's the diagnosis and what's next.
So we try to do this together, right?
Okay,
so,
as a team?
As a team.
Oh.
So we have, and I think we are quite good at that. We have regular meetings where there are surgeons and cardiologists and other members of the team as well. And, information is presented. some imaging is presented, and then based on that, you sort of arrive at a decision as a group, right? Everyone can say their opinion, but it usually goes with the majority opinion, right?
Okay.
And so that's one part. So you have the decision, right? We're doing this operation for this patient or this intervention, or we're not doing anything.
Okay.
The next thing is obviously, the patient, when you discuss, can have the operation, we say, in 3 months, right? We don't need to operate now, we can operate within the next 3 months. So obviously you forget, you can't keep this in your head. So what I try to do is obviously then go back. We are lucky we have something called electronic patient record. So everything is in the laptop, yeah?
Okay.
So the decision is recorded.
Oh, everything.
It's recorded who was there, what the decision was at that time. Then.
So you have someone writing everything down while you have this?
Yeah, one of the poor people who's chairing the meeting, and that's why they rotate. They have to type down everything.
That's good for you. So you have all the info.
So all the information is there.
Yeah.
All the imaging is there, right? But then, let's say the day before the operation, you either do it then.
Oh, okay.
And then that's
so you don't have like additional meeting.
No, I think it's. I'm not saying we never have an additional meeting. Most of the time, if everything is clear, I wouldn't necessarily ask for an additional meeting just before the operation. We do have one anyway, because we have a meeting on Friday where all the operations for the week or the next week are again discussed, like the second time, just to check that everything is ready. But again, that's Friday, and let's say I do an operation on
next Friday.
Yeah. So the day before, I need to open my computer, go through everything again, remind myself, visualize. Yes, if it's like really tricky and something that I try to close my eyes and then think, okay, this is how it's going to look. Maybe open some books, maybe study some literature to understand how other people do it.
Right.
So yeah, that a lot of time goes into that preparation.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you basically are holding heart in your hands. That's, I mean, it's a process to be well prepared. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you can't do this without preparation. Yeah. Everyone needs to be well prepared.
Amazing. What do you eat on surgical day?
What I eat? I try to. I try to eat healthy, but what I eat is healthy. I try to have good breakfast. Okay. At home, and I usually have a coffee. Like I have a coffee at home, and I have another coffee when I arrive here in the hospital. So by the time I start an operation, I usually have had like 5 espressos.
Oh, okay.
And it's, I don't know.
You're just ready.
Then I'm really ready. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I enjoy a coffee, and it depends. Like really during the day, you can have an operation that means that by the time you finish, let's say that the canteen is closed, you can only go outside. We do.
You're not able to eat in between, or?
No, there's nothing like, people say that, oh, can you just stop and then go for a break? So yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You start an operation, you when it takes really long, and let's say you are in the final stages of the operation, let's say before you close someone's chest and then just control the bleeding, then you can go and ask someone else just to be there and watch it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
So you have time, right, to go unscrub and have a cup of tea.
Okay.
but it would be highly unusual to go for lunch, right?
Okay, reasonable.
Yeah. So I don't think many cardiac surgeons have very regular diet because of this.
Yeah. It's sometimes probably unpredictable how long you're going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you have 2 cases, right? I mean, you arrive home late and then obviously don't want to, again, it's probably not great to eat too late, right? You don't want to do that, but then you feel like you have been missing out on life the whole day, so you do anyway, and then it's well said. Today was your surgical day, right? Yeah. So you haven't eaten yet? I had. Today I managed because today we had 2 cases. So the first one finished relatively early, so I had some time to go for lunch.
Yeah, okay.
And then
I'm happy for you that you had time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing that personal information. So 2 surgeries on a day you have, or can you have it more?
So I don't think we ever manage more than 2 operations a day. Because again, so the operation is just, you start an operation and you need to bring first the patient to the operating theater. So that takes 15 minutes, wherever they are in the hospital. Then the anesthetist will put the patient to sleep. He will put a breathing tube in. He will put some monitoring lines in. So that takes an hour.
Oh, to prepare.
To prepare, then just moving the patient from the induction room to theater takes another few minutes. And then you start the operation, you finish the operation, you go with the patient back to intensive care, hand over the information to the team there, and then the whole process starts again. So, the sort of sometimes we have like 2 hours until we start the next operation. So if you can imagine, we start our day meeting at 8:15. Okay, so we start the first operation is already 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Then you finish, so it's 2-3 o'clock when you start the next.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's difficult to do more than that. More than 2 cases, really.
Yeah, you're basically doing the most you can in that period of time.
Yeah, so, and then also, truth be said, we probably could be more efficient. There's a bit of self-criticism.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I worked in Germany for 6 years, and they were amazing. That really was, it took them half an hour to start the next case.
Oh.
Okay. Half an hour, you literally had the cleaning people watching when you were finishing the operation. Really? They were already waiting to go in and clean the theater.
And prepare.
Yeah, and then it was a different setup, and I think there was an emphasis on getting things done by 4 o'clock, right? And then people had time to do whatever they wanted, either clinical or academic.
So they have surgeries until 4?
Most of the time they would be finished by 4 o'clock and would be doing 2 cases as well. Okay. Whereas we normally finish, like when we do 2 cases, like more like 6, 6:30, 7.
Okay. So that's your usual day from 8 to 6?
8 to 6, and then you should then talk to parents, ideally. Yeah. You should then produce or help or check something called an op note, so like a record of what was done. If there is any investigation after the operation, you should review it. If the operation is a big one, you want to hang around a little bit to make sure that the patient is stable before you go home. So it can be, it's not necessarily that 6:30 and then you can disappear. Sometimes it's longer than that. And like I said, go home,
Is that a personal decision that you stay after toughest cases? Is that a personal decision, or is it recommended by the hospital to stay?
So we do have a person who is on call every day, right? So there's 5 of us, 4 of us do the on call, which means that there is, there's always someone, if something happens during the night, they will be covering it. If it's something you did and then something, you really sort of almost have the ownership of that case, you want to be the one who
is there if everything.
And I think that all of my colleagues are like that. Sometimes it's really difficult for people to take a break, to go home, and then some people are not good at that at all. They will work until they're really exhausted. So you need to find the right balance, because that's obviously also not good, right?
Yeah,
no one makes good decisions when they are really tired.
Yeah. Of course, you need to have a rest and clear your mind and to rest your body and brain.
Yeah.
Amazing. What was your longest surgery? How long was it? And what was the case?
I'm trying to think very, very hard.
Take your time.
So sometimes, it's really difficult to remember. Some cases will be more memorable than others, right? And again, cases where there was something extraordinary, and something dramatic, you usually remember those best. So we do heart and lung transplantation. So I would say sometimes those can take a long time to perform.
How many hours are we talking?
It can be anything up to 10 hours. And sometimes it's a combination of the operating, the combination of most of the time these things happen at night.
At night?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's to do, obviously when someone receives a new heart, someone has to die to be a donor, right?
Yeah.
And usually the organ retrieval will happen at the end of a list in the operating theatre. So let's say it happens in a hospital. So obviously all the other patients that have elective surgery on the day will go, and then at the end it will be the organ retrieval. Then you have to organize sometimes many teams who do that. So
because it needs to be done in a short period of time, right?
It needs to be within a certain time after the organ is taken out of the body. It needs to be implanted, and so that's one limit. But the other thing is there's a lot of preparation. So you can get a phone call, like, oh, there will be a heart transplant, and we are planning it for tonight, right? And then you will get an information. How is the organ working? You need to study, obviously. So
the patient you are
implanting the organ into, you need to know about them as well, right? So there's lots of phone calls, lot of information, timelines that are almost always not sort of kept. You say, oh, it will happen 8 in the evening. I always say, when I hear that information, I always say, I see you at midnight, because I know it's almost always delayed. Very rarely does it really happen when it's planned for.
At the time.
So you're not just the operating, but the whole process is, you sometimes start in the evening, and it's not until 2 a.m. that you actually start operating, and then you operate through the night and then into the morning. So those are long days, not necessarily just in the operating theatre, but
altogether.
Long days altogether. So that I think is probably something that takes a long time in general.
How do you remain focused the whole time?
Yeah, I think it's everyone who says they can function as well after, for me, the critical hour is after 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
because
that's the critical hour.
Yeah, and then you feel like you had one too many drinks without drinking, and I think that's really tricky, right? But this is how we do it at the moment.
Amazing.
It's not good, but
yeah, but probably it drives you that you're going to save someone's life.
Sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But it's not just me, right? I mean, there's a whole, because we have a system where we have basically a coordinator. Those are mainly nurses, sort of specialist nurses who are coordinating the whole thing. They're also awake, right? I mean, they also have an on-call system.
Nurses who also have the on-call?
Yeah, so some of the sort of specialist nurses, like let's say transplant coordinators, they can work during the day, helping transplant physicians in clinics, but they also have other person who takes the call, right? If there is an organ offer, those are the ones who will take all the details and then say, okay, so who is the transplant physician on call today? They will check with him, is this acceptable for one of our donors? And then they call, if that is met, then they call the surgeon and say, well, Martin, listen, we have such and such offer. What do you think about it? So,
and they coordinate everything.
They coordinate the timing.
Amazing. Whole process.
Yeah, the whole process is not just surgery.
Yeah.
Really. And then I would say the surgery itself, as in technical bit of doing a heart transplant, is perhaps not too difficult.
Really?
No.
How many of heart transplant?
So we do.
Did you do?
Oh, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I maybe 60, maybe 70.
Wow.
I stopped counting them.
Amazing.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's not terribly difficult. At least that's what I think. The operation is,
from your experience,
because just depends on, let's say you do a heart transplant, right? So obviously everything behind it is so blows your mind, right? I mean, you just you take someone's heart and put someone else's heart in, and then it takes over, and then it's working. But the process of doing it, right? There can be obviously special circumstances where the heart is not normal. You need to do something with the new heart to sort of connect it properly. But if it's something more standard, you take one in, put one in. So obviously you need to make sure where you connect those bits that there shouldn't be any narrowing, any twisting, all these things.
That's everything.
But other than that, it's we do more difficult operations for congenitally malformed hearts, where we have more difficult operations, more of that three-dimensional thinking, how something looks inside, in not just 1, 2, but in 3 dimensions. So heart transplant, I think it's difficult for other reasons, but not necessarily because it's technically difficult.
Okay. Do you have a ritual before surgery, like for good luck? Do you have something you do specifically before every surgery, or no?
I wouldn't say good luck. So I don't do that anymore, but I used to do it. I used to write down every single operation I did. Right?
Really?
I used to write down, this is number, this and this. This is the patient's number. This is the patient's condition, and this is the operation I did. with a date, and I always thought that I cannot do that until I finish the operation. So that was a little bit of superstition on my behalf. But other than that,
you probably just go focused, and that's
I don't think, I know some of my colleagues, they say yes when I scrap and they wash their hands, they sort of have like a ritual where they concentrate. I don't think I have anything special.
Okay. Yeah, you're special yourself.
Yeah.
How do you prepare yourself if you have a week filled with surgeries, or how many days in a week you work?
So most of the time, it's 3 days in a week.
3 days in a week.
When I do operations, sometimes it's 4 days. I do sometimes operations in another hospital, like a private hospital. And if we have a patient there, then it's usually a Monday. So then it will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
And then Thursday is usually a day where we have those meetings to discuss our patients, what to do with them, and other, nowadays, whatever organization you work for, there's a lot of meetings. And after the pandemic, all of those meetings are online.
Yeah.
So you just sit in front of your laptop and you open one Teams meeting after
one
another.
after another.
Yeah. Which is,
It has its benefits,
tiring,
but still.
No, this
It doesn't?
No,
Can you do it from home?
Yeah, I can do it from home.
Yeah.
I can do it from home. I do personally think that when people moved to these online meetings, it somehow devalues the meeting itself.
Oh.
I don't know what it is. I think if you are there online, it's you sort of less
You're not
invested
really
in it. You're not really there, right?
Yeah.
You can.
I can connect with that.
I don't know.
It's not the.
So for me, it's certain things you cannot read.
Yeah, from facial and
people's expression, the subtle things that humans do when they communicate, not necessarily by speaking.
Body language.
Yeah, and then that's just not there. And then also like feels like you can say things. So somehow, if you say something to someone's face, I think it. You feel somehow more responsible for. Whereas online, it's you can detach yourself.
It can also sound a bit different, and then it would like.
Oh yeah, of
in
course.
person,
yeah. There's a lot.
It can
room
also
for error.
Yeah. How do you decide which surgeries to take on? Is that do you decide that, or do they hand it to you?
So we have, like I mentioned already. So there's a team of 5 of us, and we all have certain things that we sort of specialize in, right?
Okay.
Let's say 2 or 3 people will focus on operations in small babies, and there's a reason for that, right? Obviously, they need to be capable of doing that. But the more experience you get, the better you usually are at certain things. So you would like to keep that expertise, within a small group of people. And then we have surgeons who specialize doing complex airway surgery when someone's airway is very narrow, and then there are some other lesions to go with that. So some of them will be predetermined by these things. Within the team, this guy does this, and therefore all the operations will go to him. And I think it's a good thing. The bigger the unit, the more you can do these things. You have like
You
I heard somewhere you have like units in India where they have, they do like 30 operations a day.
Whoa.
And they have just people who just do one particular surgery, apparently. I haven't witnessed that myself, but I've been told that this is how it works.
That's interesting.
I wouldn't want to be like that, but I can see where they come from.
Yeah. But that's a good thing, I would say. I mean, if you know your business, if you have the experiences, that's only a good thing. So you will know what to do if something unpredictable happens, because you had so many cases.
Yeah.
And I understand your point of view. Yeah. And that's a good thing. Yeah. What was the most challenging thing you have ever done? For you, what was the most challenging?
So again, it's probably tricky to recall immediately one particular case.
Take your time.
I think it's probably very, what is the most challenging is to do difficult surgery on small babies. Because this everything is so small, and sometimes those conditions are rare, that what you do is tiny. You feel like this is what can be done with your hands and with your eyes, but also there's very little room for error. You have not necessarily always a normal circulation at the end of your operation.
Circulation where?
So let's say normal circulation, the right heart, the right pumping chamber pumps blood into the lungs, and the left pumping chamber pumps blood that's with oxygen into the body.
Yeah.
And then you can have hearts that, let's say, almost half of the heart is missing. So you have only one pumping chamber, and then you have to do some operation that sort of will balance the circulation, or you will have only one vessel coming out of the heart, and that vessel then divides into the lung vessel and the body vessel, and there is somewhere a gap between those two. So you can have all sorts of variations, and because they are small patients, because it's rare, because very little things can have consequences, right? You do something wrong and suddenly it doesn't look right, the blood doesn't flow well, there's a narrowing somewhere, the heart struggles. So I think generally it's difficult, complex operation on small babies. I think it's the most difficult thing for me personally. Yeah, you can have, even in older patients, you can have major operations, but usually it's tolerated better. For small children, they really don't cope very well with.
How do you face those challenges? I mean, what's your primary thing?
So again, you would like to go and be prepared in such a way that if something doesn't go, that you have an alternative, because you will find some surprises. Despite everything we do, you suddenly do say you open the heart or open one of the big vessels, and you see, oh, this is not what I thought it would be.
Something new.
I had made a plan to, for example, use one of my patients I operated on recently. You made a plan to use a patch of a particular form, and then you find yourself that you can't do that because there is an important vessel that you would cut if you did that, and you have to enlarge that tiny vessel that is 1.5 millimeters. So you really have to you really need to adapt quickly to a new situation.
You have to think quickly and have like solutions prepared.
And then I think it's good, obviously, to be in a position where, and that's why it's I think a difficult job, because you obviously at some point in your career you won't be experienced. You will only know what is written in a book or what you have studied in a journal. Sometimes even that is important, that you can use that, right? And then when you accumulate a certain amount of experience, then those things are probably easier to deal with, because I've seen this, or I've seen a sort of modification of that. I guess it's easier to deal with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You can come up with a different plan based on your experiences and knowledge. I was meaning to ask you how you saw Pia's case. What was the hardest thing in her case? Because it was so rare, complex.
So, so Pia had a tumor, right?
Yeah.
Something we call the fibroma in the heart. And I think that few things. So first of all, even when we did Pia surgery, the experience with tumor surgery, this particular surgery in children in United Kingdom, wasn't big. Okay? Even now, I think we have something like 7 or 8 cases.
Yeah, I remember back then when we came, they told me that just recently you had like 5 cases.
Yeah. So obviously it was something still very new, and still is, at least for us in this unit, it's a relatively new experience. So you do something you don't necessarily are familiar with, right? I don't want to say there is a learning curve, because there shouldn't be. I don't think there's something that's acceptable nowadays to have a learning curve, or that you accept that something doesn't go well. Everything should go perfect. So it was certainly that, and it was also the fact that when we saw all the imaging, usually that mass, that sort of growing mass, would be contained within the heart. And I remember one thing about Pia's case so well, that it was so big that it was growing out of her heart.
Yeah, that was her case.
Yeah, so much so that we even had doubts whether we have the correct diagnosis. That's why, remember, we did initially just a biopsy. We took part of the tumor.
The outside part.
Yeah, exactly, the outside part.
But the results was not good. I mean, it was, I believe, inflammatory.
Yeah, exactly. So because we obviously took the part where some reaction of the body was occurring because of the tumor growth. And I think that the operation itself, so I think by that time I already did one similar case.
Really?
Where the tumor was also very big. But it's kind of counterproductive to sort of slowly cut into someone's heart muscle.
Yeah.
We don't do that in any other surgery to that extent.
Okay.
And you have like almost like a little tennis ball within someone's heart muscle. And then you need to rely on what you see, obviously, but also on the information. And we had good information from the CT. We had like a model that was telling us the extent of the tumor mass. But still, I still have the image in front of me when we removed the whole thing. Yeah. And then the huge hole that...
I saw it. You showed me the picture.
Yeah.
And that was
so
incredible.
There was a lot of things that sort of were unusual for someone who otherwise is not dealing with this. You usually close holes, right? You don't create them.
Yeah.
So that certainly was quite a challenge.
That was a challenge.
Yeah.
Right?
But other people do that as well. There's a center in the United States, and then they've been doing this
Boston?
In Boston for quite some time. Yeah.
Back then.
And they probably have many more cases than we do, at least for this sort of when you do something new, you try to publish that, you try to get that information out.
Yeah.
So they do certainly have that. But I think when you sort of compare to us, I never worked in the American system, but I can imagine, there's so many resources, and then obviously for them, in a way, is also a sort of money generating business. But never that the resources are amazing. So I think that everything we do, they do like twice as much.
Yeah, there are more people and everything, right?
Oh yeah. There's like huge amount of people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I was interested in how was your case like for you. What does the trust of parents mean to you?
I think for me it's extremely important. I would go as far as ideally you always want to meet the parents before. And
before surgery.
Okay. It doesn't always happen. Yeah. It can be a member of the surgical team, not necessarily you, and the first point of contact is after the operation is done, and either phone call or this is me who did the operation, right? I guess in those cases it's probably difficult to establish trust, because how do you trust someone, right? You trust someone by talking to them,
Sorry for interrupting.
No.
I just remember that we, as a parents, we got that vibe that everything is going to be okay. I don't know why, but maybe after biopsy, you also did a biopsy, and everything went smoothly, and she was okay, and we were just so certain in your ability to save her that. And after we had this few minutes before surgery, we spoke, and I remember I asked you any concerns, and you were like, no, you were quiet, determined to do the surgery. And that gave me so much hope that I cannot even explain. Really, just you, yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare that people even say to me, how they see it, right? I mean, because I never get this part of the story.
Okay, interesting.
But I think it's really important because everything goes from there. Just imagine things don't go as expected. There's a complication. It's almost impossible to explain it to someone who doesn't have your trust, because the complications we know, right? We know 10% of our patients, sometimes even more, depending on the condition we operate on, will have a complication. And no matter what you do, that complication is going to... And then you stand there and then trying to explain something happened and we can deal with that. If there's no trust, you can say whatever you want. And usually it's like, oh, you doctors, you did this and that, you're trying to hide things from us.
But so that's obviously not the case, right? I mean...
of course it's not the case. And then I even go as far as I always tell the parents that, no matter what happens, you should be sort of taking some comfort from the fact that we'll always tell you everything, even the bad things. And if something bad happens, then we can deal with those complications. Some of those we cannot change, obviously. Some of those are terrible complications that could be life-changing. but I'll try to sort of get the message across that I'll be always honest with you.
That's good.
Not trying to say, well, the tissues were weak or whatever.
Yeah. You're basically trying to be honest and to present like it was probably.
Yeah, and also you get, sometimes we do operations on children where, let's say we do the investigations and we see that there's a big problem, right? There's a big problem, and from my experience, or
so before surgery, you do scanning and everything.
Scanning, and then we see that, there's a big problem that can lead to sort of changes in the heart that are not reversible. Something can suddenly happen. But what the parents sometimes see is a child that looks normal, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you explain that someone who is, like, say, 2-3 years old, is walking, babbling a little bit, having some words, and not doing much more, needs an urgent operation? So I think for some of those, it's very difficult sometimes to get that trust, because they say, well, but my child is normal. My child is normal. She's like, she or he is the same like all the other children in the nursery. Why do we need to do this? And I think that's why it's really important and difficult sometimes to get that message across. And you sometimes really have to say, you need to understand that this needs to happen, and I need your trust, because otherwise I can't do this. I can't do that if I don't.
Could you say it fuels you? The trust of the parents, it gives you like.
Yeah, of course. It gives me, it's sort of, I would say that not perhaps gives me confidence, but sort of it helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just amazing. I mean, what you do and everything, how you look at the parents and the challenges you overcome during that. I mean, I can imagine that it's really challenging to discuss some stuff with parents and to be there. Do you ever feel fear? Like before surgery, during the surgery, and what do you do with it? Or
yeah, of course, and especially those moments where you realize that it's this your plan, what you want to do is slipping away from you.
Yeah, that it's not going according to plan.
Yeah, there's a real fear, because you suddenly realize that someone's life is in your hands, and then
you need to come up with another plan.
Well, either another plan, or sometimes you can't help it, but you have to somehow tell yourself, you've been in this situation before. You have your whole team. It's literally, you need to remind yourself that you have other people who can help you. You cannot, I don't think anyone can allow the fear to overcome them, because I can just imagine you would be paralyzed, right?
Yeah, that's a strong emotion, and you cannot allow to overcome. Okay. Do you rely on your instinct? For example, if something doesn't go as planned and you have a feeling that you can do something differently, or how would I say it? Do you rely on that instinct telling you what to do, or do you go according, something else?
Yeah, and I think probably every doctor does this a little bit, right? Because there you can have all the information you want, and there's something telling you that, maybe I should do something differently, or I should approach it in a different way. You don't necessarily have anything to back it up, right?
Yeah.
You don't have that hard data to say,
to confirm it.
So, and then you sometimes definitely you go with your feeling,
and it goes well.
And
yeah
it does.
Because I think if you listen to yourself, like everyone, like the real gut feeling, I think that's the best way, because it's from, I don't know from where it comes, but it's the right decision almost always. Or maybe I would say always.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, there's only so much you can do with hard data and cold information.
Yeah. What does it mean to you to work with charitable organizations like Chain of Hope? Are you still part of that?
So I have to say I used to do. I used to work with them. I think people who do that have my utmost respect. I would say that perhaps at the point in my career where I don't necessarily have time for that.
Okay.
And we are also not in a position to do that as a hospital.
Really? You're not allowed? Or?
Well, doing a charitable surgery means that someone needs to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that the national health system in the UK is rich enough to do that. We used to do when we were doing more surgery in one of the private hospitals here in London. We used to, from time to time, have an agreement that if we do a certain amount of those private surgeries, sponsored by countries or embassies or whatever, then we can bring a charitable case and do that. So I used to do that here in the UK.
In the UK?
In the UK. We would bring someone from abroad, do the operation, the charity, the sort of the board would select the case and do that here. What some of my colleagues still do, they go and do operations abroad. Like let's say they go to Ethiopia or they go to Jamaica and then operate for a week. Again, it's very difficult to argue with that. You can, because a life saved or transformed, not necessarily like literally saved or transformed, or someone outlook for their later life changed, is a big thing. Obviously, the cynical person in me can ask, then, if you go to some of those countries, they probably have different problems than heart surgery, but then it's someone's child, right? And so I used to. I mean, I was in Kenya. I was in Jamaica.
Wow.
Sometimes it's difficult because you realize that you don't always have the local expertise.
Yeah.
And then you go somewhere
and you're probably limited with everything.
You're limited with everything. You bring your whole team, right? You rely on the people you normally work with, and you do operations, like you help and then you leave after a week. And what happens after that, right? At the moment, to be honest, I don't even have somehow time to do that because I'm so busy here.
I mean, you're fully booked here.
Like I say, I'm fully booked, and then also, how would I explain it to my wife. I mean,
Yeah.
goodbye. I'm
out.
off for a week. I'm going to, yeah. But I do have colleagues who do that. They go to India, they go, like I said, to Ethiopia, Jordan, and they do these things, and I'm sure they help a lot of children.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you also did, and I mean, when you had time now, don't you? Yeah. Amazing. How do you take your time off? I mean, as we were previously discussing, you don't unplug from your work. I mean, you have your computer and everything, but what about like annual leave and the actual time off work? How do you feel any pressure because you're not present here, or how do you unplug in these situations?
I'm getting better and better at this.
That's good for you.
Yeah. I remember especially when I started here, I said that, I'm going to be like my professor who I worked under in Germany, in Munich. And when he started and became the chief of the unit, the first year, he did not take any leave.
Really?
So I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do here. So I did not take any leave the first year. No, 0 days off. And I think it was incredibly stupid because nothing is going to change when you are away for a few days, and you need to do that. So I consciously now try to, like every 3 months, I try to go somewhere for a week.
To have a rest.
I try to, when I have a free weekend, I try to go and cycle. To
rest your mind?
Yeah, and then also, I mean, I see it as a health benefit, right? I mean, we go 3-4 hours and go, and then even the time spent with the family, I think even that's, for me, I had to make, I would say, a conscious effort to be able to do that. To be
available for them?
Available for even taking leave properly, or all my leave. But then you realize, you're just doing yourself a big disservice, and you're not helping really anyone by not taking time off, taking time to.
You need the time
to fill your head with something else than just work.
Yes, that's good for everyone to take that time off. How do you then balance your family and your work? You said that without them, you cannot do what you are doing.
Yeah.
So how do you balance everything?
I probably say something that's not very nice, but it requires a lot of understanding on their part.
For sure.
Which is fine, but it can be incredibly draining, I think, for them as well. Because you are in a situation, you're sitting at home, having your dinner, or you receive a phone call, and you're told your patient is arrested, right? The heart stopped working. We need you here in the hospital. Everything has to stop, because, in a way, what is more important? Someone is about to die, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you need to go to work, or you need to do this important operation now. And then I think you need a lot of sort of understanding from your family to, in a way, I would say, tolerate it. Because it happens all the time. All the time there's something that urgently needs to be discussed.
Really? It happens all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of understanding from their side. Yeah,
initially it can be, first few years. But I think it takes a lot of out of a relationship to be able to to be there, and then, you know, even after many years, to say, okay, darling, off you go, and then you come home. We'll be here.
Amazing family you have to support
Yeah,
you on
I'm
that
lucky,
journey.
yeah.
Do you take the time to be proud of yourself, to reflect on your work, to see what amazing work you do, to be proud on yourself? I think that's also the important part. We are all focused on doing things, but I don't know if we actually ever take the time to reflect, you know, especially in your work when you have so many cases, so many patients. Do you have the time to take for that?
So now that you mentioning that, I would say probably not really. I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I think
you're probably fully occupied with next case.
Yeah, or next case, what will be in 2 months, what will be, you know, what will be the next project, these things, rather than thinking I mean, if you know, and then this is probably a good thing to work in a big team where you are respected. When people mention, then you think, oh yes, this is how it is, right? I mean, this is something we should be proud of.
Yeah. So that reminds you, the team.
Yeah, it reminds you that it's not just you, but the team is doing well.
Yeah, but also that you are
part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also that you're doing something good, and that just for a second that you know how amazing your work is.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily use those words, but yeah, I do think I can really say that, yes, sometimes it is like, yes, we're doing really good stuff here. And yeah, I'm contributing to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How did your professional journey change you as a person? How did you evolve during that process, that journey? How did you grow, maybe, during that?
So I would say for me, and then this is, you know, how perhaps I see myself, and then maybe other people around me see me differently. But I would say that in a funny way, this work gives me confidence. And maybe it has to do with, you know, with my upbringing, maybe with, you know, I grew up in a communist country. I'm that old. Yeah. And it's a different schooling system, right? It's not like here, you're not told you are good at something.
Yeah.
You usually told the opposite. So I don't think it necessarily system breeds confident people, right? Which this work does, right? It does, by the very fact what you mentioned, that, you know, sometimes people do remind you that you're doing stuff that is, you know, maybe not amazing, but extraordinary and worth of being proud of.
Yeah, good answer. So we are basically at the end of our conversation. I just wanted to ask you the last question. What would your personal advice be for living a healthy life? Take your time.
I think you need to have, first and foremost, you are already very lucky, and you did a big step if you have a family around you that love you, respect you. You have someone you can love back.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of being healthy.
To be surrounded by people that love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think so. And then, if you're lucky enough to have a job that is really motivating, yes, it can take a lot out of you, but I think it gives a lot. And, what is it being healthy? Part of it is perhaps do not forget there's other things like, try to engage yourself in some sort of sport, right? Do something on regular basis.
For the body.
I was never in any sort of special diet. I always tried to eat perhaps everything. Maybe as I'm getting older, and then I think that probably applies to everyone. People sort of can choose what they eat, right? I mean, they should probably eat everything in moderation and then sort of combine things. Here in the UK, we are exposed to a lot of processed food. So I guess that's perhaps, you can do little things.
Not the best thing.
It's probably not the best thing, That would be it.
Amazing advice.
Family, interesting work, keep your mind focused, have time and the ability to switch off. And some sort of exercise, because I think it's not just for the body, I think it's for the mind as well.
It's that connection that gives you the flow of everything. Amazing advice. Thank you for advice, and thank you for this conversation. I truly feel grateful and that you decided to participate in this conversation, and for everything that you have done for us. I mean, you did the surgery on Pia, and that's the main thing. I'm forever grateful for you. And that would probably be it. So
Well, I have to say thank you very much, because I didn't really appreciate that you would come here in person, and I think it's a big sacrifice, right? You're also a mom. You also the children need to leave someone with.
They're with their dad. In amazing hands.
Okay.
But I just think, as you said, you have to have something for your soul, and I'm trying to have that. I'm trying to, I feel it's my purpose to have conversations with amazing people like yourself, and that somehow feeds my soul. And that's why I decided to come here and to have the interview with you. So thank you so much for that opportunity. I really appreciate it. So thanks everyone for listening, and we see each other in next episode. Ça pose le chemin.